They've been given all the time. These are other presidents, all the time needed, because you're supposed to have as much time as you need, and complete deference when it came to their documents and their papers. Take as much as you need. Barack Hussein Obama moved more than 20 truckloads, over 33 million pages of documents, both classified and unclassified, to a poorly built and totally unsafe former furniture store located in a rather bad neighborhood in Chicago, with no security, by the way. George W. Bush stored 68 million pages in a warehouse in Texas and lost 22 million White House emails. He lost 22 million emails. Can you imagine if I lost 2 emails? They'd say this is terrible. It must have been nuclear in those 2. Covering the Iraq invasion. He didn't want to hear about the Iraq invasion. It was one of the worst decisions ever made, and he lost 22 million. Can you believe that? We're talking about million pages, and they're coming after me. But they're still looking for them. They're still looking for those pages. Bill Clinton took millions of documents from the White House to a former car dealership in Arkansas. We love Arkansas, I can tell you. We won Arkansas both times also. And kept classified recordings in his sock drawer. In fact, he supposedly put the information from the White House into his socks and left the White House with the information. So we call it the sock case. If I did that, there'd be major trouble. And NARA, you know about NARA? The National Archives and Records Administration lost, I put that in quotes, an entire hard drive full of information from the Clinton White House. They lost it, they can't find it. But almost as bad, crooked Hillary deleted 33,000 emails under congressional subpoena. She acid washed them, although I do believe they're in the State Department, because it's very hard to get rid of them. But they acid wash, very expensive process. That's why nobody does it. And then pounded her phones with hammers, making them totally unrecognizable to the naked eye. So she took those phones and she pounded the hell out of them. Meanwhile, George H.W. Bush took millions of documents to a former bowling alley and a former Chinese restaurant where they combined them, so they're in a bowling alley / Chinese restaurant. By contrast, I had a small number of boxes in storage at Mar-a-Lago, very small relatively, guarded by the great Secret Service. We love Secret Service. And the FBI, with many, many people, raided my house. It's in violation, by the way, of the Fourth Amendment and many other things also. The radical left thinks by doing all these sinister and venomous things, they're making us weaker, but actually, they are making us stronger and much more unified than ever before. I really believe that. I believe that. What do you think? Yes? Yes, Mike? When will they investigate and prosecute Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, George Bush, and look into what took place with George Bush's father, a very nice man, and the warehouse of documents? And what about Barack Hussein Obama? Are they under potential prosecution? I don't think so. I don't think they are. A Chinese restaurant and a bowling alley with no security and a broken front door. No, I don't think so. Under the Sox decision, well, they actually call it the Sox decision, having to do with Bill Clinton, there is no crime. Same thing as what we have, except his was much more egregious. Ours was nothing. There is no crime, and they should give me back everything that they've taken. Under the Sox agreement, I'm allowed to keep what I want. It's personal. It's personal. Likewise, under the Presidential Records Act, everything should come back, and there is no crime. You negotiate. Whatever you negotiate is fine. It's a process. But they make it sound like the greatest crime in America was committed, and we've got all these warehouses that are just falling down buildings, essentially, loaded up with millions and millions of pages of previous presidents, and nothing was ever said about it. This is a two-tier system of justice, and it's got to stop because the people in this country are angry and they're sick of it. We want to make America great again and stop this nonsense.